Good morning, everyone. I am here with Psychic Liz Cross. How y'all doing today?
How are y'all? Y'all, you
I gotta
shout
put some
down,
southern
y'all.
drawl, in it.
Well, no, you don't have the southern drawl.
All right. Well, I'm really south. I am really south. I can guarantee you that.
You are.
Maybe
In
too
order
south.
to have the southern drawl, though, you have to have two syllables for every one. Okay,
Uh,
like chair.
right,
You know,
right. So it'd
bye.
be y'all, y'all.
Y'all. Yeah, y'all. Well, no, it's kind of y'all, but no, it's like phone. Everything that should be one syllable is two, except for the word like drink. Drank, but most of
They
the time
just
it
kind of
drank.
like, yeah, they put it out longer. They just draw it out.
That accent's fading out though. I can firmly tell you that. And I'm kind of sad about that. I really am. As the people are migrating into the South,
Yeah.
don't let
Speak
me get
gentrifier.
started on my opinions. The accent is being watered down. So when you do hear that old Southern accent, you're like, oh, thank God, I'm still in the South, right? Yes, ma'am.
Right. All right. Well, what we are going to be looking at a market outlook for cryptocurrency for the rest of the year. We haven't done that in a while, so we're going to look at a bunch of different metrics here and see what we get. So we're going to pull in my master team, and for those that don't know, it is an all-star cadre of traders that used to trade the stock market. They're all passed on in spirit now. Cryptographers, our friend John, and a few, cryptographers in there, and just a who's who of people that I put together to decode the matrix for us. A little bit of extra help. So I'm sure they're here. They're smoking their pipes. They're having a good time. They're playing piano as usual in the lounge. So we're going to ask them to come in and we're going to look at Bitcoin first. So we're going to ask them on my screen here. I have a chart drawn up by Uncle Bobby Lucas, and he's famous for doing the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin and outlining that. So he's got a smaller scale here. His prediction is that we either do two things. Either one, we kind of go sideways for the rest of the year, right? Before going up, maybe, not the rest of the year, sorry. We're going up in the fall. We're going sideways for the summer and then going up in the fall. Or the ETF gets passed for Ethereum and we just actually go up much quicker. So that would be like, the ETF gets passed in the next month and then we just fly up a lot quicker than expected. So can we pull in my master team, and are any of these two scenarios going to play out? Do we go sideways for the summer and then go up? Do they see that happening?
Are we going to go sideways for the summer and then go up? What is this called? This thing you're looking at?
Well, we're looking at the Bitcoin chart.
The Bitcoin chart.
Yeah, it's a daily Bitcoin chart.
Let's put that out into the future. Okay. Let's go July 31st. Although I know Europe, you start your summer later. Excuse me. It takes that long for the water to warm up out there. July 31st, 2024, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The Bitcoin chart. Did it keep going sideways
in this
from
range? Yeah, sideways in this range.
And what's the range, please?
Range is about 56K to 73K.
Did it keep going sideways from 70K, around 70K, around from May 21st, 2024, all the way? No, it didn't keep going sideways. What did it do? It goes up.
Okay. And the catalyst for that was that the Ethereum ETF being passed.
Was that the Ethereum ETF being passed? It helps.
It helps. Okay. All right. And so does it break out of this range to the upside in the month of June?
This particular range to the upside in the month of June. Yes, but more so July.
Okay. All right. So
I
then
feel, sorry, let me give this to you.
Mhm.
I feel like it could hit 80.
Yeah, for sure. Once it breaks out of this range, it'll probably retest and then go to 80 for sure.
Let me ask this question. With the Ethereum ETF, was why did that make more people throw money into Bitcoin? It just boosted crypto overall, is what I'm getting.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So we had big news. Today is, by the way, it's May 21st, 2024. And yesterday we had big news as far as the ETF was concerned. First of all, the odds makers gave a 75% chance that the ETF is going to be approved soon. And then we had the SEC come out and request information from all the major exchanges regarding an ETF, which makes everybody think that it's very close to happening because similar things happened just before the Bitcoin ETF was passed. So as we stand today, the soonest it technically could be passed is tomorrow. And there's a big deadline for the month of May next week for it to be passed. Otherwise, it gets pushed off, I think, until July is the next deadline that the SEC gives for some of these ETFs to be passed. So it looks like we're on the brink of this happening. So that kind of makes sense from what you just saw. Originally, you were seeing the ETF being passed this summer. So looks like there's a chance it could be a little bit sooner. Do you see that happening this month? Or can we ask my master team rather? They see it happening this month?
Do you see the Ethereum ETF happening in May? Is it going to happen in May 2024? I'm getting a no.
Is that June?
Is it going to happen in June 2024? As it stands right now, based upon quantum probabilities, which is the most likely outcome of where we are today, from where we are today, I'm still getting July.
Interesting. Okay. Now there's a bunch of different ETFs. Would that make a difference on the line of questioning we have, or are they looking at all of the ETFs that exist?
Are you looking at all of the ETFs? All of the ETFs that exist.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I just thought I'd ask that. Okay. So then my next question is so when it does get passed, so what happened, just a little bit of history, when the Bitcoin ETF got passed, it went up in price significantly leading up to that point. And then once it was actually passed, we saw some sell-offs for, a few weeks to a month. So the price actually dropped for temporarily before going up again. And there was a lot of selling from Grayscale, which is a fund that holds a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that was where most of the price was dumping from. And they also have a ton of Ethereum that they could possibly dump when this thing is passed. So I want to ask my master team, would the same thing play out with the Ethereum ETF, where we would see a rise in price leading up to it and then a temporary dump for a few weeks to a month when it does pass?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I can break that down for you.
Yes,
Sorry.
please.
I was just giving some preamble to that. So when the Ethereum ETF is passed, do we see a sell-off temporarily after that?
ETF is passed. Do we see, so like immediately? Are you talking immediately when it
Within
is
the weeks after, it is approved.
Do we see a sell-off? Yes.
Right. And is it because of Grayscale? Can we ask?
Is it because of grayscale? In part, yes.
Okay. Yeah, they have a ton of cheap Ethereum that they bought, and they'll now actually be able to sell it. So it's going to be what they call a buy the rumor, sell the news event. And we're seeing that right now because on this news that happened yesterday, Ethereum had the biggest daily candle that it's ever had in its history by a few different metrics. So if we look at it, it was a gigantic daily candle yesterday when people got wind that, oh, there's actually good evidence that we're close to this thing being passed. So people are front running this news. Now, when it does happen, whenever that is and wherever it gets to, it's probably going to sell off just like Bitcoin did. So just FYI, that's
It
probably,
does.
yeah,
Sorry, let me give this to you. And then it's going to go sideways and then
yeah,
it'll pump again.
right. Okay, so when that happens, after that all clears up, right, and goes sideways for a while, and the news is passed, what the real big effect that everybody thinks is going to have is that you're going to have a few things happen. Everybody assumes that that will trigger an alt season, or at least altcoins will actually be very bullish at that time. So one of the metrics that we use to measure it, there's two different ones that people would choose. One of them is called Bitcoin dominance, which I don't know if it's very useful as much as it was in the past, but what this chart is showing is that when the chart is going up like this, see this trend line, it's going up, price is going up, Bitcoin is in control. It is taking most of the money out of the market and it's outperforming everything else. And if this price is going down like this, see my cursor going down, if it goes the other direction, that means the altcoins are actually outperforming Bitcoin. So more people are putting their money into the altcoins, and all those altcoins are pretty much going up across the board. So what everybody is hoping will happen over the next couple of years is that this chart will come all the way back down here somewhere, right? And so far, it has not budged. Bitcoin has been in full control this entire bull market so far. So can we ask my master team, does this trend break and go the other direction significantly at some point in the next 6 months?
Just this trade. So which trade? Going up or going down?
So I'm going to draw you a line here so you can see it. So does this chart start going down like this?
Does this chart start going down? What's the time on that?
The next 6 months.
Let me move the chart out. Okay, so let's go December 31st, 2024, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Does this chart start going down like this in the line that Mr. Photon has just drawn within the next 6 months? No.
Does it keep going up like this?
It's sort of stair-stepping upwards.
Interesting. Okay. So that kind of does make sense to me because Bitcoin has just been on a tear. I don't think this chart is actually the best measure of anymore. And so that kind of confirms it for me. So we're going to actually look at, this is the one. Oh, wait, that's not it. Hold on. I got to find which chart it is. The one that I think is the one to look at nowadays instead of that chart is this one. This is the total market cap of everything excluding the top 10, which includes Bitcoin and Tether and everything that's in the top 10 coins. So this gives us a better idea of how altcoins are doing. So this was the bottom of the market way back in June of 2023, right? That was the bottom of the bear market. That's when Bitcoin was at its lowest. It's when all the altcoins were at its lowest. And ever since that time, we've actually been moving up. We've had this trend line going up like this, right? Steady up like that. Now, recently, within the past month, we've had our first major correction down, right? And we saw altcoins drop drastically in price, like 50, 60, 70% down over the past month. So the question is now, do we continue our stair-stepping action up from here? Can we, for the next, 6 months, can we ask the same kind of question?
We're stair-stepping up for the next 6 months. Yes, it's a gradual increase.
Okay. All right. So could we say that for the most part, the bottom is in here?
Are we at the bottom? Is 60,000 the bottom for the, is it higher or lower than 60,000 US dollars, the bottom for this year?
No, that's not 60,000. So the bottom
Sorry.
would be, so we're looking at a percentage here on this chart. So the bottom right now that we have from a few weeks ago is 10% roughly.
So dropping 10% is the bottom?
No, that's actually the measurement is 10%. So instead, we're not looking at a price here, we're looking at a percentage. So the bottom we just put in on the chart is 10%, right? And the top that we put in is 13%. So you have to get the idea of having like a price out of your mind. This chart does not gauge price at all.
Okay.
Traditional sense. So it's
sorry, the question would be,
so
it wants me to have a definitive like term for bottom, as in what are we measuring it against?
Well, we can measure time. So the bottom in time that I'm looking at occurred Saturday, April 13th, 2024. So we're asking, do we stair step up from that point from now on? Or do we go below it again?
2024. Ooh, so there's going to be another sharp drop. There will be a sharp drop. Will it be lower than April the 13th, 2024? No, but there is going to be another sharp drop at some point.
So is that like within the next month? Weeks?
Within the next month? No. Is it this month? No. Is it June 2024? No. July? I feel like it's August. So I feel like once it's pumped, okay, the hype and the people getting excited, you're in August, there's going to be a sharp drop.
Does that line up with is the ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the catalyst for that?
Is the Ethereum ETF the catalyst for that? No, it's just that there's a massive sell-off. And was there a massive sell-off in the stock markets as well? I feel like it's in line with the stock market sell-off too.
Well, that brings me to my next slide. This is actually a listener. This is a listener request that was brought to us. And I can't tell you what exactly this is based on, some sort of astrology, but whatever they're using here, they're predicting that there is a crash in like the major markets, so crypto, stock market, looks like it's in August. So yeah, it says, so we saw some stuff emerge in April, which I just showed you. So on April 23rd, we did have a big crash there, which I just showed you. And then it says in this that it will come to a head in August, sending markets tumbling on this alignment. So there's some sort of astrological alignment between Mars and Saturn, apparently. Sorry, let me read this. So unfavorable square alignment in our condition both benefits Venus and Jupiter. So yeah, so Venus and Jupiter and Mars and Saturn, there's some sort of alignment that happens there between them. And in August, they're predicting is the next downturn. So
and I feel like it's the second week of August. Interesting.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much to that listener who suggested that we look at this, because it just so happened to line up with what Liz just saw. So that's pretty cool. All right.
However, it won't be a very long-term drop. It's going to be, it'll recover quickly. It's
Yeah,
not going
and
to be one of these things where it crashes down and then it stays down for, like a long time, and it's really slow to recover.
mhm.
It's going to be a faster recovery.
Flash crash, as we call it.
Yeah, yeah. And is it going to go down more than 20%? I feel it could drop 20. I feel it could drop 20%,
Okay.
which, in the grand scheme of things, not technically defined. Now, when I say 20%, I'm saying the stock market, right?
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
is it going to
okay.
drop more than 20% in the crypto market? No. But this year has been so volatile.
Yeah.
So when people are just finally making a little bit of money, right? Here we go again. So that's
Okay.
why the impact of this sharp drop will be felt. If people are making loads and loads of money and they're in a bull market and they've been excuse me, climbing steadily for, several months, they can handle a sharp drop, right?
Correct. Yeah. So the earlier that you get in, the less it affects you. But if you just got in the day before that, then that really sucks. Um, okay. So that brings me to my next question. This is flowing nicely, Liz.
Oh,
Another listener requested that, well, I suggested on the Discord, in the history of Bitcoin, in every 4-year cycle, we have at least one 40% to 50% drop, and then a handful of like 20% drops right in that range. And we've already had a few this year already, or this cycle already. I believe we've had three, at least three 20% drops. So the one that we just had was, oh, I have to turn this stupid. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to use my ruler, my trusty ruler here. So we just had a 23% drop from the top over the last month. And then if we go back in time, back to January, there was a nice 22% drop. And you can even go back like even a little bit further from that, something like this. This was probably close to, yeah, another 20% drop there roughly, and another 20% drop. Something in that range. So we've had like 3 or 4 20% drops already in the last, since the beginning of the year or just before that. So going forward out another 6 months to the end of the year, do we see, and this is Bitcoin again that we're looking at, do we see a 40 or 50% drop at any time in the next 6 months?
do we see a 40 to 50% drop at any time in the last 6 months? Sorry, in the next 6 months. Do we see a 40 to 50% drop at any time in the price of Bitcoin or the overall crypto market at any time in the next 6 months? I'm getting mixed answers here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm getting a yes from the panel and a
Yep.
no from the chart. So
Well, I
let's,
don't trust the chart. Just for the record, I don't trust the chart. I trust
okay.
the guys more because we probed before the chart is actually biased.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I forgot about that. It's very alpha male and it always wants to be right.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot. So let's ask the panel. Over the next 6 months, will we see at any time a sharp drop in Bitcoin of 40% or more? Of 40% or more, a no.
Yep.
I'm getting a 30% is highly possible.
I think it's highly possible too. So what is that in the second week of August, like you saw?
Is that going to be in the second week of August? No, I feel like that's going to be later on in the year when the price has risen significantly.
Okay. Is that anywhere close to like 90,000?
Is that anywhere close to 90,000? Yes, around 90,000. How did you know?
Uh-huh. Well, that's just I would assume like you have to think of market psychology. Big round numbers like $100,000. If Bitcoin was to hit $100,000, everybody's assuming that that's going to be a top point, right? Everybody, because people that have held Bitcoin forever, they're like, oh, it's a good time to take profits. It's $100,000, right? So the market won't sell off at $100,000. It will get front run, meaning that people will see the 100,000 coming and they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to wait for everybody else to sell on me. I'm going to sell before they do. Right. So usually what happens is you get a pullback before it ever reaches that target on something like this. So I would assume somewhere around 90,000, people are like, yeah, I'm gonna take some profits here. So a 30% drop from there brings us way back down to 62,000. 62,000. Okay. And so, like I said before, it's normal to have 20 to 30% corrections on the way as we stair step up. It's actually normal in a bull market. And what that allows the market to do is it redistributes wealth. So those whales that sell off up here, then people can come in and rebuy lower, and they're starting from zero, right? They're like, oh, I'm buying down here, and I'm not in a loss. Everything that it stair steps up from here is now they're in profit, right? Whereas the people that sold now, they were already up insane profits and they took their profits. Now new people can come in down here, which don't have any history. They're brand new participants. And so they're always going to be now in, profit as we go forward and stair step back up. So the market redistributes. It goes up, it dumps, it redistributes. It goes up, it dumps, it redistributes. That's kind of how markets work for the most part. Healthy markets, anyways, not pump and dumps.
Right, right.
uh, it's like a diaphragm, kind of breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I wonder when that happens. Do you think that's like the fourth quarter of the year? So like, the November, December time frame?
Does that happen November?
Can we ask my master team anyways?
Yes, let's see. Does it happen? This potential 30%. Does that happen in uh the third quarter? I feel like it's the third quarter.
So that would be like the fall. So we're thinking, is that like October, September time frame?
October. Is it August? Is this gonna be the second week?
Maybe,
Second.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. That would be third quarter.
Is this gonna be the second to third week in August? No, I feel like this is after the August drop.
Interesting. So in the
So it
fall,
raises significantly, it recovers, it raises. And then what happens? Is it going to, the potential for this 30% drop? Is that it could be September.
okay. All right.
It could be.
All right.
Obviously, make a note of that if you would please.
Yeah, I am.
Closer to the time, we will
Yeah.
definitely check it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So I got notes in there for August, September, second week of August, and then September. Once we get closer, we'll figure it out. Okay. We're gonna stop this video and continue it on for our members because now I want to actually dig into altcoins a little bit more and find out what the actual narratives are going to be going forward, which is, what we really want to know. So we're going to stop the video and we're going to invite you to come over to our Patreon where we have double the videos waiting for you on all different subjects, not just including crypto, but spirituality, health, general stuff also, and from a wide variety of presenters, not just myself, Mr. Reality, Mr. Shakespeare, Oh, Mr. Shakespeare just released an incredibly long video on going out to 2040 for Bitcoin. So that was very interesting. So you can find that there as well. So how do they become members, Liz?
They go to patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. Now, couple of things. Liz, are all the exclusive videos about crypto only? No. Okay, we do a lot of spiritual stuff. And don't forget, we also have the CTT group. And if you're not in the CTT group, you're missing out. I'm serious about that. We are making great strides in that group. We're uncovering consciousness, we're uncovering like, ascension, expansion, empowerment. If you're not there, you're going to be left in the dust. And the second thing is also the live shows, right? Liz, how do I ask questions for the live shows? Well, you have to be a member, right? Those live shows are exclusive to members only at the moment. They're the ones that put in the listener requests. They're the ones that put in the questions for live shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want your cryptos requested as well, I mean, we're doing, geez, I mean, we're about to do at least like 20 or 30 today of listener requests probably after this video. So you got to be a member to see all that stuff. All right.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. And don't
Thank you
forget,
so much.
Mr. Photon does crypto consults and he has a tip jar.
That's true. So if you want to get a hold of me for a consult, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, you can contact me at my email, digitalfreedomtactics@protonmail.com.
Excellent. And we hope to see you on the Discord. Thank
See you
you.
soon.